When we had the Japanese master piano artisan come to Shorter, it was a very thrilling experience. I felt that we had royalty. Someone who truly understood the Shigeru Kawai instrument and instruments, and was able to teach all of us so much about the instruments, about the wood, and about the mechanism, and about the regulation of the action, and about the overall quality of the instruments. I think that individual is probably the most knowledgeable person on earth about these pianos. So having a company that would provide the best technician, I think is a very positive part of this relationship that Epic Partners with Kawai America have.
When it was Toru Okatake visited us, he's your master piano artisan, that was a lot of fun, actually. It was a very special visit. It was almost sacred, you know, because he came there and he's a very patient man, and he has an incredible ear. And so we closed off the hall that day, actually, and we would drop in and out, and students would quietly sit in the back and listen to him tune the piano to the space. And he spent a lot of time just manipulating the instrument and hearing it inside, and Scott went in and played some, and it was almost like a, for lack of a better word, like a sacred experience, because you got to really hear how the instrument would become, would shine best in this particular environment. And then when he came to see, and then we got our other Shigeru, delivered in Professor Watkins' studio. He came and spent the day working with the piano there as well, and the students really liked that. They got to see, because they of course always see the pianos tuned, but when he comes to prepare the instrument, it's much more extensive than that. You know, it's a much more involved process, and it's a lot. You don't get to see that sort of thing very often. You don't get to see all the workings taken out and everything so carefully checked over, and it just sounds, you know, it sounded beautiful, and I could tell the difference. I mean, we thought it was great when it came, but after he came and worked with the piano, and you could hear it in the space, even someone like myself, who, you know, just a functional keyboardist, I was like, this is amazing. This is what a piano should sound like, and I hadn't realized it before, because I had become so used to what we had in our halls before.
I have a Shigeru in my teaching studio, and when it was set up, I thought it was just absolutely spectacular, really, really fine. And Don Menino in the office there in Los Angeles called me up and said he wanted to schedule a service with Mr. Otake. I said, oh, it's really not necessary. He said, no, we'll do it. So Mr. Otake comes. It was a school day, and so I canceled all my lessons that day. And Mr. Otake, like a fine chef or a surgeon or something, he sits down on the floor first of all, and he sets up all of his equipment, everything that you could possibly imagine. You know, sets it up in a circle kind of around him, and he's examining the most minute parts on this piano. I think, what are you doing? It's fine, you know, just tune it and leave. Make it easy on yourself. And he said, no, I'm here to make it really, you know, special. I was like, wow, okay. So all my students were looking in the window, watching him work. It was like watching a Jedi master, you know, do whatever was necessary. And so he came out into the hallway, and I was talking to a colleague, and he said, Professor, your piano's ready. Would you please come try it? And I sat down with the instrument, and I thought, oh, wow, you know, and I called Don immediately. I said, Don, if I had the best champagne before, this was now like dipping my hands in a bowl of that very fine champagne. I didn't ever in my wildest imagination expect that the piano I had known early that day could be better. And Mr. Otake actually made it better. I can't say exactly how. It's sort of intuitive kind of thing. You sit down at it and the piano just had more presence, it had more body to the tone. It just suddenly felt better. I mean, it was better. I didn't expect that. I didn't think it was possible for the piano that I had seen early in that morning. I didn't think it could be better. But what I loved was watching my students watch Mr. Otaki while he was working. And I think it made a real impression on my kids because they understood what a privilege it is to play on such a fine piece of art, that someone would take the time and the care and the responsibility to make sure that it was at 110%. Like I said, finest champagne, just terrific. Yeah, putting my hands, like soaking my hands in Dom Perignon or something. It's really, really beautiful experience.